Welcome to T2T with Tom Pfeiffer and Ty Martin.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry we've been on delay. Life has definitely prolonged the next episode.
Yeah, because we were both on vacation the last 4 days. So you were gone somewhere. Where were you? I forget. On the weekend.
I was at the AmFam Championship for the Champions Tour here in Madison, Wisconsin at TPC Wisconsin. We were there on Saturday.
Yeah, and where were you staking your claim?
We were in the Club Strick Pavilion that was on the 16th hole, the green.
Did you see any amazing shots or anything like that?
They actually had the pin tucked in the very front, and it was a short par 4. I think it played 290 something, 294, 295, I think is what we saw that it played. A lot of them hit the green. A lot of them played it safe. They were pin high, but on the right side, the fairway kind of rolled up to the right side of the green. A lot were over there, which was right in front of us. And it was really interesting. The only complaint that I have is we were far enough away that when they teed off, we could not see the ball until it came down.
Okay.
We were just far enough away that you just couldn't see it. The sky was a little overcast, but we had a great day for it. There's a little breeze to their back as well, but there were quite a few. I think the first shot that we saw, I cannot remember his name, and my apologies on that. But he hit the green, and they were playing a best ball format, and he actually made the eagle putt, and that was the first group we saw. I was like, well, it can only go down here from here.
Or it's going to be the same thing over and over again, right?
Yeah, and but it was really fun. Got to see quite a few different players that used to be on the PGA Tour, and we were right there. So I mean, we got to see everything.
I also heard that you had a chance encounter with someone.
A friend of mine. He's 14. He had the idea that he was gonna try to get John Daly, and when John Daly came up, he left our seats and went down and stood by the ropes. And when John Daly went by, he stuck his hand out with a Diet Coke and he said, "Hey, I'll trade you a Diet Coke for a ball." And Daly grabbed the Diet Coke from him and put it in his cart and then kind of drove down the path to kind of get out of the way. And then he stopped and he reached in his pocket, grabbed a ball, signed it. It was the ball that he used on 16. Signed it for him, handed it to him, and goes, "Thanks, kid. Don't smear it."
That's awesome.
It was really cool to watch. It was honestly, well, that was the highlight of the day. I mean, we got to see some cool stuff, but that was a highlight of the day of him coming back with an autographed John Daly ball, used on the hole that we were watching. And when he came back, he was just shaking. I mean, it was just like, buddy.
Well, it's brilliant. You had a Diet Coke. That was perfect, dude.
I know.
I drank 20 of those on during a round. So
I actually got a picture of Daly standing at the green. His back is to us, and he's got a cigarette in his hand. He's just sitting there smoking at the green side.
Yep.
And I was like, this is everything that I hoped it would be.
Yeah. So that's such a cool experience. And now obviously he's going to be hooked for life.
Oh, he's already hooked for life. He's 14 years old and he's been golfing for, I think, 4 years now, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And Mason is just beyond hooked. I mean, he calls me all the time and texts me questions and stuff. And it's nice to see the enthusiasm of a young man like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And hopefully that ball will stay with him for the rest of his life. And I'm sure it will be.
Yeah. I told him to actually get a baseball cube and then take a golf tee and cut it and super glue it.
Oh yeah.
Put the ball on top, and then we all got AmFam ribbon style bracelets, and I said to put that on the inside and have that as the commemorative. And he's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And so Whether or not he does it or how he displays it, that's up to him. But
yeah, it's probably gonna take him a little bit to get to that spot though. Like for me, I'm like, oh, this is such a cool thing, and then you put it on the shelf, and then like a year goes by, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should probably put something around it.
I bet he's already got a plan in place. I saw him earlier tonight.
Okay,
I should have asked him. I didn't though, but we were talking about it again, Mason and his dad and I. So it was a really, really cool thing to see. You know, you see those videos of, you know, basketball players giving shoes away and, you know, football players giving gloves away and hockey players giving sticks away, and just being able to watch that was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, so like you're thinking about like what do golf pros give away? So like you seen the guy get hit with the ball and then the golf pro signing his glove and then giving his glove, right? Yeah. So the next best thing is probably going to be his ball then, right? I mean, what else?
Would think.
Yeah, what else would you get a tee from some? Like I don't know. Like I've only seen the glove and ball. I don't know if there's anything else you would like give away. Maybe a hat.
Yeah,
like Ricky Fowler's hat would be cool. You know.
Yeah, I mean, here, let me sign the ball I just drilled you with.
Right. Oh, there's the little scuff and blood on it too. But yeah,
it was really cool. Got to see Stricker and Mario Tiziani. They were one of the last couple of groups on Saturday. It was really interesting to see how many people actually followed just that group.
Oh yeah, I'm sure a huge crowd, and unfortunately they didn't make it. They didn't win it, I should say.
Yeah.
But they did get second place, though, I believe, right?
I believe so. They dominated Saturday.
Yeah, I think they were second. Yeah.
It was the other thing that was pretty cool was I got to go into the remodeled areas that were just finished. I used to work for a company that we did the remodel, and I'd never got to see the final. So walked into the Champions Grill, got to see that, and actually ran into Dennis Tiziani, the owner, Steve's father-in-law, and talked with him for a few minutes and whatnot. So that was fun. It was a really good time overall. And, you know, the club strict passes that we had in that pavilion, we got free beverages and food, and they definitely did not disappoint. Fed us amazing beef tenderloin, and Lindsay had some salmon, and it was it was a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, good to hear, man. Great experiences for both of you guys. So talking about best ball and all those things, so we were talking about like scrambles and things like that, and you said you heard something over the radio about like scrambles and stuff like that.
So I was listening to Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Madison radio the other day, and that's Jason Wilde and Mark Tauscher, the ex-Green Bay Packer. And Tauscher was talking about how he's been in plenty of scrambles and so forth and won a few, but hasn't won one in a few years. And the group that he had was a pretty good group, and they won it over the weekend. And he was very, very excited about it, which, I mean, you win something. Why not? You should be excited, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you win something, you're always going to be competitive. So if you win something, obviously you're going to brag a little bit.
Right. But it came down to it. I did not hear the final score. I heard quite a bit of it, and then I got to a job site and I missed a little bit, and then I heard more. So I never heard the final score, but it was said that they bought 20 mulligans to use throughout the round.
20 mulligans.
20 mulligans. So we're going to go with 5 per person, I think is what they said they did. I don't know if it was, $5 per mulligan or 5 mulligans for $20, whatever the case may be. Neither here nor there. So as the morning show went on, or their segment, people were calling in, and the other people that were on the show were really starting to drill him about, does your score really count if you have 20 mulligans between 4 people? Now, sidebar, he did say that they did not use all 20 mulligans. But again, I did not hear what the final score was.
I mean, if you're going to get 20 mulligans, you might as well use all 20 mulligans, though, too. I mean, that's just kind of, What is that, man? Poor planning. I mean,
So,
come on, man.
here's two caveats to it. If you buy 20 mulligans as a group of 4, if you go to use a mulligan, are you the only one that gets to use it, or do the other 3 people get to go? Because I've seen this in outings that I've been in before, where they say you're the only one that can use it, or they say your whole group can use it. If your whole group can use it, that's a lot of extra shots.
Yeah, that's, math, 80 shots, for one shot, so, or whatever. So you got to think those 20 are probably individual, mulligans.
I would say the same, that it would be individual. I mean, I'm choosing to use one here. You're choosing to use one there. The other thing of it is, do you feel that you should be able to use a mulligan on a putt?
So I think a mulligan's a mulligan. Now, obviously, if I'm missing my birdie putt that's 3 feet short, obviously I'm going to be taking a mulligan on that. Should you be missing that with 4 people, getting to try that? Probably not. But if you're, missing that and then you made it on the 5th, quote unquote mulligan, it's definitely worth using a mulligan on. So I'm okay with using it on putts. I mean, obviously.
And I sit on the other side. I think it should be used on
Shots only.
Shots only, not
putts.
Not putts.
Yeah, so I've hosted outings before, and so I always do.
You have?
Yeah, just some, but I usually have just team mulligans. So you usually get 4 mulligans. Those 4 equal a full team shot. So like, let's say everyone does an approach shot, everyone misses the green. They say mulligan, they mark it down, and then they all 4 get to hit, and I'll try for the green again. And so that's how I work it. So I have a feeling those 20 are individual mulligans.
Yeah, and I never got. Unfortunately, when they were discussing that, I was out of the vehicle at a job site, so I didn't get to hear it. So I'm working on probably about 70% of information, but it was the callers that were calling in. It was quite interesting. And so since they won, all 4 of them got a Vortex rangefinder. That was first place.
That's pretty good. I mean,
it's Mark Tauscher from the Green Bay Packers. He's probably got 3 of them at home.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the first place one. Vortex rangefinder.
There were so many people, it was funny, that were calling in and say that this championship has an asterisk next to it.
But the thing is,
comments were great.
You also got to think, though, too, is that it is for charity. So who cares, honestly, who wins, to be honest? Right. But then also you got to think all the other groups in the outing definitely had those mulligans too. So I don't know if it's going to be 20, but it's got to be pretty darn close.
Well, and that's, there were a bunch of people that were calling in, and I wanted to, but I couldn't. And, but I wanted to call in and be like, who cares if you buy mulligans or not? If it's available for everyone, whatever, it's charity.
Yeah.
And on top of it, if you go out, if you stop at a local tavern or restaurant or whatever, how many times do you hear 4 guys in there bragging about winning a charity event?
Not a whole lot.
Very minimal.
You always hear the guys that lose it, and then you always hear about the guys that shot like a minus 45 or something like that. But you will never hear, oh yeah, we won a charity event, we were minus 10.
Yeah. Well, you hear the second place team that's like, man, we shot 14 under and we lost by 1.
Yeah, exactly. But you'll
never see the 15 under group over there celebrating. It's like, you might watch them take a shot or do a round together or something like that. But it was the responses were, and the call-ins were quite comical.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then the other hosts were just roasting him. I mean, just roasting him.
Well, congratulations. So where was this outing? Was that around Madison? Do you have any idea? Or
I'm guessing it was. They didn't disclose where it was at. If they did, I missed it.
Okay.
My guess is I know the company that put it on, and my guess would be U Ridge.
Okay. Well, that's a nice little course there. I like playing that place.
My guess would be U Ridge by going off of the information that that was put out.
Cool. Yeah. But so I always go into outings basically thinking, hey, this is a charity event. I'm here to just, donate some money, have some good times with the buddies, and just, go out there and trying to have some fun. If we
Right.
shoot well, we shoot well. If we don't, we don't. There's gonna be some amazing shots. There's gonna be some pretty terrible shots as well.
Right.
So
You're
yeah.
you're here to drink beer and lose balls, and they're out of balls.
Yeah, right. I'm here. I got two things I'm good at: chewing gum and kicking ass, and I'm all out of gum. But yeah, so talking about scrambles, talking about everything. There's an upcoming event called the U.S. Open. But before we get to that, let's talk about the women's, the LPGA U.S. Open. Someone guessed the winner somehow, but
Guessed. You're dogging me like they did to Tausch. Jeez.
What are you, Nostradamus?
No, far from it. Yeah, picking the wrong one.
But yeah, so Maja Stark won the U.S. Open, and Korda was second place. She was tied in second, so it was very close. But congratulations to Miss Stark in winning the U.S. Open at Erin Hills. So congratulations on that.
I'm the first one to win a beer.
First one to win a beer. I forgot about that bet.
First one to win a beer.
Yeah, congratulations on that very warm Bud Light. I know. Just kidding. I get the pick, right?
Can I pass this to someone else?
Right.
Can I give you the reverse Uno card?
Yeah, right. No, it's dealer's choice. The U.S. Open is at Oakmont. It's called the Beast for a reason. The fairways are nice, but the rough is rough. Okay, so they actually made the rough 5.5 inches thick, and it's not just normal rough. It's actually layered. I was watching a interview with the groundskeep, and he said that when you think about rough and like, oh, it's 5 inches, you think, oh, they just cut it and then they like grow to 5 inches. No, there's actually a plan that superintendents or groundskeepers do in order for the rough to become what it is at Oakmont. Basically, what they do is they cut like their normal length, which is, I believe they said 2.5 inches is like normal play throughout the year. But for this event, what they did was they actually let it grow to 3 inches, then cut it 3 inches for a couple weeks. They let it grow to 3.5 or 3.5 inches, and then cut it for a couple weeks at 3.5, and then let it grow to 4, and then cut it at 4 for a couple weeks, and then so on and so on until it's 5.5. The reason why they did that is so that the grass can grow thick instead of having like a really thin top layer where the ball can actually sit on top of the rough. As you can see, I'm sure most of you guys that are listening probably have seen videos of like Bryson or who was the other Morikawa, I believe, was testing out the rough. They basically dropped the ball and they walked away, and they came back and they couldn't even find it. They had to like really like search for it, and then they're like, oh, is that my ball, kind of thing. And that's what happens when you let that grass grow, cut it, grow, cut it, and grow, cut it, and do it in like layers instead of letting it just grow out. The ball would sit a little bit higher up in the rough, and then you would have more flyer lies. So that is pretty crazy. And then also Bryson came out with, if you're a regular 18 handicap, okay, if you are, you're going to be shooting a 200, if that. I mean, like, it's crazy. I don't know, like, I would be scared to hit out of the rough, to be honest. I don't know if I would break my wrists or something. Like, what would you do if you hit in the rough like that?
I mean, we have a local course that has very thick rough, not nearly, I mean, not even close to what this is. But it was, if you got in the rough and it was buried, I mean, you had to go up 2 clubs almost, or just basically take a 4-iron and just chop at it and get it out because there was just no coming back.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what these guys are going to be going through tomorrow.
A lot of pros said that they were just going to hack it out. Just like literally like just go sideways and just put it into play, and hopefully they don't hit into the rough again and then make par or bogey. So
I thought I saw, and who knows if this was photoshopped or AI or whatever, but yesterday that the green speed was like 16.
No, that's probably correct because I believe last time they played there it was around there. So it's like glass.
Yeah, I thought I saw it, but I mean it's the internet. You never know who photoshopped what, who AI'd what, but and there's so many off. If I would have seen it on, or if I saw it on my Golf Spy or something like that, but it was, I can't remember who it was, but it said green speed today 16.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the green speed being so high too, basically you saw that guy putting it from 120 yards and like putting it within 8 feet or whatever. That's pretty. I mean, you could do that. I mean, if you really want to. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you would actually do that during a professional event, but to do it on a practice round was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I did see that. That was quite interesting.
I just, like when I was thinking about Bryson's comments about like, shooting at 200, I'm thinking like, well, yeah, I could see that. But the one thing that I could definitely see why you would shoot at 200 is because you don't have the fans or marshals saying, hey, your ball's right there. I mean, could you imagine hitting it while you're playing with your buddies?
You go through 5 dozen golf balls.
Yeah, because you would be literally on top of the ball and you still wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, like the marshals are going to have a field day, like literally a field day. Like they are going to have these flags pinned everywhere, marking where the pro's ball is. I mean, I guarantee all the landing spots are going to have at least 2 to 3 marshals per landing spot in every, hole.
Well, even being at TPC last weekend, the rough there was a little bit thicker. And there were times that I was watching the marshals looking for a golf ball, and it's like, it's right there. I saw where it dropped, and the guy's standing over the top of it, and he's looking around, and he can't find it. And then he walks up, he takes one step, and it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, it'll be insane. I'm curious. There should be like a lost ball counter or something like that on like the like top left part of the screen, like how many balls are lost today, 25 or whatever, like something.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna have they'll have to have something like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
they track, like on at TPC Sawgrass, they track how many balls go in the water. They'll probably have to have some type of stat on that.
Yeah, for sure. But I just think it's kind of interesting. I'm just lame like that too. Like I'm a nerd. Like I want to know how many, like I love when the professionals are just struggling. So to know like how many balls are lost is like, just feed me Seymour, kind of thing. Like like I love that stuff. Like I want to see plus numbers. I don't want to see a -30 or -40, like, yeah, okay, another whole hum par, no, I want to see you struggle. Just like we struggle at muni courses when the fairway is not grown in, when the rough is, terrible, when the greens have aeration. I want to see you struggle just like we do in your face. This is a time where regular golfers can see a pro struggle a little bit instead of just, having the handicap plus, 7 or plus 10 like Scheffler has.
So do you think the winner will be over par?
I think they're no, I don't think so. I think they are going to be negative. I think it's going to be either a -1 or 2.
Okay, so really on the cusp.
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. But I think also there's going to be a huge void. So it's going to be like not -1, -2, then even, and then just like pluses. Like you're just going to just see this huge, big, separation between the players that are playing really hot and the players that are not. I'm curious. Like we have to do a show like on Friday or something like that and just look at round 1 and just say, oh my God, this guy shot like a 94, like That's why I can't wait.
Do you think anybody will shoot over 100?
No, I don't think so.
Not even the amateur from high school.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know, man.
I'm not trying to. I'm not.
I know.
I definitely.
I just think experience. I get what you're saying because like
I'm not trying to call out Mason Howell by any means, but I mean an amateur from high school that's going to be playing this. He's probably never really experienced anything like this before. I mean, the cameras are going to be on him. The pressure is going to be on him. Does he shoot over 100, or does anyone shoot over 100?
I don't think anyone's going to shoot over 100. I mean, if you looked at what's his name again? Shoot, I just lost the high school kid. What's his
Mason
name?
Howell.
Mason Howell. Sorry, I knew that. Actually, Mason Howell. He shot 65 in order to qualify. I mean, that is insane. So he beat out like Ricky Fowler and stuff like that. So
I mean, kudos to him. Good for him. Like, glad to see it. But
yeah,
you're up with, he was with the big boys, but now you're with the big boys.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I still think no one's going to shoot over 100. I might be wrong. You want to bet? I mean, we don't bet, but another drink. I don't think anyone's going to shoot 100. But I do believe people are going to be shooting in the low 90s. I think someone's going to shoot in the low 90s.
I think somebody shoots 95 or higher.
Okay. All right. Over under, huh? I'll take the under on that.
I'll take the over. I think somebody's.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that 95. That's a good over under. I think that's correct.
I think there's enough qualifiers, because there were 6 open qualifier spots for this.
I'm just
5 or 6, I think.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there's 9, 10, 11.
But
12.
I think only 6 are for amateurs.
15 amateurs are playing. I just counted. I just went down the line and just counted them. 15 amateurs are playing in it.
I'm not trying to, throw shade at any amateur or anything. Kudos to you got to this spot. I mean, every golfer would love to be there, but I think somebody's going to implode.
Well, I kind of agree with you. And the reason why I would say amateurs over the pros is because of the experience. I mean, like you said, you get on that first tee, first time, U.S. Open, the hype, the cameras, the gallery, people, within 20 feet of your shot, 100 yards down the line, you're like, where you're like, oh man, if I hit this, and, hit a shank or something, someone's dead,
right.
Kind of like what Jordan Spieth did the other tournament.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. But what I'm saying is like, man, after I think like the first couple holes, I think the amateurs will then settle down a little bit. But I mean, that first couple holes, I mean, your heart is just pacing. I guarantee most of those guys are probably going to hit their ball at least 10 to 15 yards further than what they're accustomed to. Because
I mean, with the rough being so long, though, I mean, you can almost add a stroke if you go into the rough.
Oh, you might be.
I'd say 50% of the time, if you go into the rough, you can add a stroke right there.
I agree. I totally agree.
That's why, especially with the greens being like glass. I mean, you got 5.5 inches of rough to deal with. You're putting on glass or ice or however you want to say it. I mean, it's like you could have your punch out shot. You could stick it close. I mean, I saw one video where a guy was chipping on the short side of the hole. He flipped it up, rolled up to the cup, and it went right back down and was right in front of him. And it's like, if you don't hit fairway green, I honestly don't even, I kind of want to say that we might see a winner in plus figures.
And you might be correct. I just think it's going to be someone that's very hot that weekend. Probably be like -1 or 2. But I do agree there might be plus numbers for sure. Like I saw a clip today. Phil Mickelson practicing his little short game, literally maybe 2 yards off the green in the rough, and he flubbed like 4 in a row. But there is a difference between practice and actually playing the ball. I'm sure that he probably won't flub it. He was probably just trying to figure out what the rough was doing and
right.
So what I do that too is what I'll do is I'll open up the face and be like, oh, got under it. Open up the face a little bit less, up, still got under it, and then practice until that's the angle or the face that I want when I come out of the rough like this. And I think that's what he was doing. And people are like, oh, Phil's struggling. I'm like, I don't know. Did you see that shot in Live Golf when he hit that sidewinder? I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Do you see that Phil Mickelson shot?
I might have.
Oh my God. It was that one trick shot that he always shows where he's on the backside of the bunker, but this was actually during a real tournament. He actually did it on Sunday. He hit it basically behind, like he hit it behind him and it flew like 300 feet up in the air, lands perfectly and rolls right in. It was crazy. Oh,
I guess I did.
You have to see that shot, man.
I'll look it up when we're done.
Great shot. Yeah, it just happened, and he's like known for that shot too. So it's crazy that he pulled it off too. So that was pretty cool. Even though I don't like Phil, he's still a good player. I just anyways. Yeah. But again, the rough. You're dealing with the rough. You're dealing with the length. I mean, talk about that par 3. 280 to 300 yards, par 3. How would you play a hole like that?
I don't even know. I was trying to find the layout of the course before this, and I wasn't successful. Do you know, is it downhill?
I think it's pretty much straight on, like just right at you. Rory put it within like 20 feet during his practice round they were showing. Okay. He then missed the putt, but I mean, again, it's like glass, so you're putting on glass, and he then made the par putt. But yeah, it looked pretty straight on. What I would do is I would just play my driver, and then hopefully he either got on because of the wind, or if the wind's in the face, I'll probably be short by like 30 yards, 40 yards, somewhere in between there. And then I would probably chip it on and hopefully make par. I would be ecstatic if I, made bogey on that hole, like every time I played it. I would take bogey on that hole every time I played it, and just said, you know what, that's good enough for me. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel.
No, I'm right there with you on that one. So as we wrap up, who are you going to take for the win?
I mean, come on. You already know who it is.
You already went over this. You can't take him.
I know.
I mean, the guy that I'm picking is in his group for tomorrow, but
okay. Who do you have?
I'm gonna take Hovland.
Okay, Hovland. Okay.
I'm gonna take Hovland. He's got a 1:25 Eastern tee time, so
kind of.
It should be dried out by then. I mean, I thought about taking somebody earlier in the morning because the greens will be a little wet, a little slower. They might be able to score a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to take Viktor Hovland.
I kind of like that. I know Zach Johnson has done really well on this course, believe it or not. Let's see here. Since I can't pick Scheffler, I mean, I kind of like Rory. I think you need distance in order to win on Oakmont. Bryson is a very interesting play. I don't think he's there yet as far as playing on this course and beating the course. I have a feeling that he's going to slip a little bit because of the rough. And I'm not hating on him. I love Bryson. I wish he was on the tour still. But I think I have to take Rory. I think Rory would be my number one. If I couldn't take Scheffler, I would take Rory.
Thank you so much. I bet on underdog against Rory so much. Thank you.
So do you want to look at the odds? So since we picked our guys, so I picked Bryson and you picked Viktor Hovland, right?
You just said you picked Rory.
Who'd I say?
You said Rory, and now you just said Bryson.
Oh, I meant, sorry. I was looking at Bryson's numbers. Rory. Yeah. I picked McIlroy. Rory McIlroy. My bad.
I was so hoping you were going to say Bryson McIlroy.
Bryson McIlroy. My bad. I was looking at Bryson's numbers because he's odds on winner for second. So obviously Scheffler's number one. Bryson.
I saw Scheffler was plus 280, and I think DeChambeau was what, plus 700.
Yep.
Okay.
It's crazy. Scheffler's 280. So if you bet $100, you only get like what? Like what is it? I can't do the math in my head, like 380 or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah,
that's like nothing. Like, this is golf, man. This is harder than any sport, I think, to predict the winner, to be honest. Because golf, you can be hot, and when you're hot, you're hot. When you're cold, you are cold. And then when you're in between, you're kind of like, eh. So, I mean, I'm hoping that Rory catches that one. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I think I just said the same thing like 4 times in a row, but
yeah, you did.
But yeah, so Scottie Scheffler 1, Bryson is favored 2, Rory 3, Jon Rahm. I don't think Jon Rahm is there. I haven't seen him do anything, and I actually watched a little live golf. Like, so a little disclosure, I did watch some live golf a little bit because that was the only thing on at the hotel well, I was at the hotel and they only had like 5 channels and live golf was on one of them. I'm like, I guess I'll watch this thing. And that's what I saw. That's why I saw Mickelson's crazy chip shot. Olberg is 4th here. Or no, 5th. Sorry, 5th.
I thought about taking him, but I was like, nah. But I thought about taking Olberg.
I say in 2 years, I think he'll be just like Scheffler. Schauffele is 6. Morikawa is 7. Jacqueline Neiman is 8th or whatever. Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry. Shane Lowry has been coming on. I talked to a couple of people. They were like, man, Shane Lowry might. But I'm like, he doesn't hit the ball that as far as some of these guys. I'm just worried about the distance.
I agree. I think the distance is going to play a big factor.
Justin Thomas is kind of intriguing because Justin Thomas does hit the ball pretty far, and he does
very inconsistent though.
That's the reason why I wouldn't pick him. Got Cantley, Straka, Brooks Koepka, Hovland is then finally there, and then so on and so on. Any notables? Any dark horses? I like Tony Finau, but he's just so inconsistent.
I think the whole dang thing is a dark horse. I mean, the way they have this set up, I mean, geez.
Dustin Johnson, I mean, if he gets on one, he can.
I just don't think. I think the majority of the live players just don't care when they come to a U.S. or they come to a PGA event. I just don't think they care. They're like, we're here. You don't like us. We're here to piss you off. I don't care. I'm getting my money no matter what.
I think they do care. I just don't think they have the experience anymore.
I think Bryson cares. I think he's probably one of the few that actually, want to be there, want to interact with the fans, and wants to win. I think the rest of them are just like, whatever.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think they want to win, but they just don't have the experience. Like the daily grind of the tour,
right? Because live golf is so laid back.
Yeah, it is. It's like, oh yeah, you play 3 rounds. If you win, you still get money, but you win some money, but you still get money. Like, it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Right. All right. So if you want me to take a quote unquote underdog or dark horse, I'll take Sam Burns.
Okay. So we'll pick 2, and I'll take Ryan Fox. Fox. So Ryan Fox, and I'm picking Rory, not Bryson. Rory and Ryan Fox, those 2 guys, and then you're picking.
I have Mr. Burns.
Yep, and Hovland
and Mr. Hovland.
All right, cool. All right, well, that's it, guys. Also, we want to thank our sponsors. Do you want to say sponsors or?
Yeah, I guess we can call it sponsor. We have Wisconsin Classic Golf Tour. They have a pass that has over 100 different courses throughout the state. And if you use the T to T 2025, you'll get $5 off your membership.
I want to thank our sponsors, Spires Golf Gloves. The promo code is WI Golf.
And that gets you 15% off your golf glove order through Spiders. The owner of that, friend of mine, known him for years, played softball co-ed with his sister, both great people. And then again, we have the Wisconsin Classic Golf Tour, which is T to T 2025 for $5 off whatever pass you decide to get.
Yep. We all also want to just thank all of you for listening and watching. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to our sponsors.
Yes. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Enjoy the U.S. Open.